instead of monitoring or mastering yourself, here the focus is on looking at others, you see, and what they're doing instead of examining self, looking inward. And that's what we are, being reassociated with the religion, the truth that our ancient forefathers gave us, that was for our earthly and divine salvation. And that's what we really have to help our people to appreciate. When you look at the negative 42 confession, you weren't answering to someone else. Divine salvation. You were stating you were being accountable for your own self. I have not lied. I have not committed adultery. I have not. You see, you're mastering yourself. Something I always like to touch bases with there in the Bible, when you see God is speaking to Cain, and he tells Cain, he said, sin is crouching at your door, and for your part, will you get the mastery over it? You see, so there, God didn't say, oh, the devil's gonna draw you in, or the devil is gonna pull a trick on you. No, here the truth is being illuminated there. You see, the question was, will you, for your part, get the mastery over it? And this is what we have to do. We have to know thyself. We have to master ourselves, the higher and the lower self. But Sister Wilkins touched upon a lot of interesting points there in her measure, and we are very appreciative and grateful for your measure there, Sister Robin Wilkins help. So that I see the Grand Sheik
Islam
fully present here.
Islam, family. Can you hear me?
Coming through crystal clear.
All right. I just want to find one thing I just thought about at the last minute. Islam, brother Hannibal Hill. Happy Born Day, my brother. Islam, brother Tristan, brother Mazu, Islam, Facebook. I just want to find something real quick. I thought it was, y'all know, I like to try to mix it up a little bit, and the reason why I like to try to mix it up a little bit, to try to make sure that everybody get this message, because it seems it's not everybody that in the meeting tonight, and those that'll see it afterwards. The reason why I want to mix it up a little bit is because we in times right now where more people have confidence in their own selves as opposed to a divine creed. They have more confidence in their own decision making without the resources to source material of their ancestors. And that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like, we would still be riding in a horse and buggy if we didn't realize that there is a way to combust fuel in order to have an automobile. And so it's strange to me that we don't reach back towards the ancestors to try to figure out how to get this right today and perfect the journey that we're on today. You know what I mean? Did anybody ever consider that? Like, how we go so far, how we go from dirt roads to now we can get on a road in Baltimore and ride all the way to California, all the way up to Maine, all the way down to Mexico on a paved road. Somebody had to start that. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with the elevation of the human being coming from a man, one man, into God man or God, one man, or goddess, if you will. But it seems like many people in this day and time have no interest in that. We have interest in the things that mean us no good. And this is the crazy thing to me. I ponder upon these things like, what in the world is going on? Like, you look at the world and it just looks like people our people in particular, seems to be so caught up in the miscellaneous, meaningless things that will do nothing for them as an individual, more or less do anything for us as a group of people. But hey, this is where we at today. But that's what it seems to be to me. So I thought it was pretty timely to ask myself, you know, anything that I present to the people, I present to myself. I ask myself, why is Moorish Americans talking about Jesus in 2021? With all the stuff that's going on, we still hold on to our sweet Jesus. And I ask myself, why is that so important? Why not only do the Moorish Americans hold on to Jesus, but our Christian brothers and sisters, they hold on dear to Jesus. You know, our Hebrew brothers, some New Testament Hebrew brother Israelites, they hold on to Jesus. The Muslim of the Eastern persuasion, they hold on to Jesus. But my question today was, why do the Moorish American hold on to Jesus in the midst of all the things that's going on? Well, I come to see from a Moorish American perspective that the Jesus that the Moorish Americans subscribe to is not the Jesus of antiquity that was given to us. The Jesus that the Moorish Americans subscribe to is a Jesus full of solutions. The Jesus of antiquity that was given to us is a Jesus of submission. It's a Jesus of submission to those that mean us no good, and a submission to a part of ourself that mean us no good. And so when I ask myself that question, I'm like, why in the world that we don't really get to the meat of the matter, if you will? If you're a vegan, then hey, my bad. We'll get to the meat, but meat don't even mean flesh for real. But if that's what you think, it is what it is. But the point that I'm making is, why don't we get to the heart of the matter? Why are we talking about Jesus? We on a chapter tonight. It's called The Beginning of Christianity. Talk to me, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Why are we harping on Jesus? Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that tonight, and we ain't going to be long. I ain't going to hold you too long. That's what Pastor Chickenfoot like said. I ain't going to hold you too long. And we're going to be in here for 2 days talking about Jesus. We're going to sing and dance and everything. That's what Pastor Chickenfoot like do. But I ain't going to do you like Pastor Chickenfoot. That's my brother. But I ain't going to do you like him. But with that being said, family, welcome to our holy day. Family on Facebook, please share this once or twice. Like all the things that we do, right? All the things that we do throughout the week. All the time that we spend chasing illusions. All the time that we spend thinking that we are working for our families because we found this job. Honor to my brother Hannibal L. that just landed a new gig. So don't take this to you, but I'm talking for those who don't do what you do, like attend meetings and try to get themselves in line with the divine. But we think that we found our job. We think that we making our money. We think that we are the source of everything that comes to us. Well, newsflash, you have no say in what lands before you. But you do have say of how you treat it once it's before you. You do have say in that. With that being said, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. There should not be one who consider themselves a Muslim missing out on some form of meeting to commune with the higher self. If you're not communing with your higher self in the congressional fashion as the Moorish American Muslim is instructed by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you just bluffing, faking, and a hypocrite. You just bluffing, faking, and a hypocrite. If you ain't never got no intention to commune in a congregational form with Moorish American Muslims, you just a hypocrite. You just talk crazy. You're just talking crazy. But all the blessings that God give us, all the things that Allah has given us to make this life a little bit easier. Sometimes it's rough to get to. A few hours to sit, to communicate with your brothers and sisters for the sake of understanding should be easy. That ain't much to ask. All that we have been given, that ain't much to ask. But hey, unfortunately, it's too much for some people. But me, you're going to find me right here, or you're going to find me somewhere trying to listen in or catching it on the back end because I need this instruction because I will go off the deep end. It is what it is. So first, let me rise and give praise to the great universal creator Allah. I give honor to his prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to the forerunner of the prophet, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who said, up, up, you mighty nation. Up, up, up. You mighty nation, you can accomplish what you will. And our will still, as a people, seems to be sluggish. But he said you can accomplish what you will, which means we got to will some things into existence. Stop playing around and let's will some of this stuff into existence. But back to my topic, honor to everybody who gave honors before me. Back to my topic. Why are Moorish Americans still talking about Jesus in 2021? Well, let me start with the chapter if you have a Holy Quran. We are in chapter 46. And the chapter starts off that the foundation of Christianity begins in Rome. The Roman nation founded the first church, of whom crucified Jesus of Nazareth for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law. Let's stop right there for a minute. You know what I used to read that? I never really paid close attention. That Prophet Noble Drew Ali gives us a law that we shouldn't speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. But then I read this. He says, the Roman nation founded the first church who crucified Jesus. And you know what it dawned on me? You know what dawned on me? It dawned on me that when the prophet talking about speaking radical, he's not talking about shielding yourself from telling the truth. Because in the sense of when people like to use the term radical, this would be a radical statement against the church. That in the term that people use it. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said the first church crucified Jesus. He said the foundation of Christianity began in Rome. The Roman founded the first church of whom crucified Jesus. That would be a radical statement in the terms that people use. Oh, you can't speak radical. You ever hear that before? They do that all the time. But speaking the truth and speaking radical is two different things. So the prophet instructs us to teach the truth. No matter how anybody feels about it, we're instructed to teach the truth. So the prophet teaches us that the first church crucified Jesus. So when one consider themselves a Bible-bumping, church-going believer in the Jesus that was given to us, they might want to consider if they are on the correct path. And these things can be qualified. So he says, and I just wanted to put that out there about the speaking the radical part. But now let's move on. Why did these Europeans, these Romans, kill Jesus? Why did they try to kill Jesus? Why did they crucify Jesus? Because that's what they did. They tried to kill him. Why did they crucify him? Crucify only means that they put him on the cross and tried to kill him. Crucifixion was a form of execution. But was he executed? That's debatable. He was crucified, but that don't mean he was executed. That's debatable. With that being said, our prophet teaches us, for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law. If you claim that you are about this, seeking to wake your people up, seeking to enlighten your people by whatever avenue you take, you best believe that they will seek to crucify you. Not only they, also those who working in their favor. It's just what it is. It comes with see, when the Moorish American reads the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, you have to see yourself in doing what the prophet instructed us to do through what is being told in this story. If you seek to redeem your people from under the Roman yoke and law, they're going to seek to do what? Crucify you. That don't mean death. Crucifixion and death is not synonymous. That's where we go wrong. Crucifixion and death is not synonymous. Physical death I'm speaking of. Then the next line, Prophet Obadiah Ali says, after that thought, let's summarize that thought, that if you go out and try to uplift your people and remove them from oppression, you will be crucified. That's what that's saying about you. See yourself in this lesson. So if you're scared, say you're scared. Because that's what this lesson says to me. It goes on to say, the next line is still talking to you. Jesus himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa. What is that saying to you? Listen, I like to read these lessons and use this wisdom for application to move forward in my journey. I'm not looking at Jesus 2,000 years ago. I'm looking at the Jesus in you, the Jesus in me, and the Jesus that we can be. So when it says that Jesus was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and the Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa, obviously there is some people who claiming that this Jesus of today, or the Jesus that they represent today, is not of the true blood. If there's a true blood Jesus, and you got to put emphasis on it, of the true blood. Who talks like that? Of the true blood. That means that there's an imposter that's being taught and an imposter that's being represented. And that imposter that is being represented is the one that is being pushed by the church that was founded in Rome. And many of us are pushing that imposter even through our own message. Even in the Moorish Science Temple of America thought. Remember what the prophet said, that we suffer from slavery, but it's the mental slavery, but the principles of slavery. When the prophet said we turn Christianity back to the European nations, we turn the name, but not the principles, and I say it all the time. And so that information begins to use us as a vehicle. So if there's a true blood of the ancient Canaanites, obviously there's some that's calling on Jesus that's demonstrating something that is not of the true blood. Let me give you an example. There's no different than we look at the so-called Indian in America. The pale Native American. That's not the true blood of the indigenous people of America. That's not of the true blood. And we will use that statement that you, Hannibal L., that you, Sister Robin Wilkins L., is of the true blood of the Aboriginals of America. There will be an indication there's some imposters around that is not of the true blood of the Aboriginals or the indigenous people of the Americas. So we get that with the pale Native American. We get that with the pale Arab. We get that when people might call this radical, but no, we got to tell the truth today. We get this with the Pale Arab. And we also get this with the Europeans, the French, and Morocco today that even like to classify themselves as Moors. They not of the true blood. So the prophet right here is saying, if I can get you to think you can save yourself, we got to really decipher these lessons. What is the prophet saying? Why is he putting the emphasis on that Jesus is of the true blood? Because there's an imposter. If one put emphasis on that your brother Jesus is of the true blood of the inhabitants of Africa, there is one out here that's being represented probably through you and through those outside of your community who doesn't represent the true blood of the inhabitants of Africa. And we must identify that in order to make sure that we are not demonstrating that. Not to condemn somebody, because listen, you don't have the power to condemn. You don't have the power to condemn, but we really just want to do the math so we make sure that when we do a self-examination that we are not demonstrating the imposter. That's what it's all about. So it goes on to say, Jesus was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and the Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa. So when people start talking about why you Moors are talking about Jesus, you let them know the same way we keep talking about grandma and nana that went away. The same reason we talk about Uncle Phil. The same reason we talk about Uncle Joe. The same reason we talk about our brothers and sisters that have gone before us. Because that's our brother. And what? We don't believe in that old concept that somebody gave us. We have faith and confidence that this is our brother. And we're going to continue to bring his name into the conversation. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. It goes on to say, seeking to redeem his people from the pressure. Seeking to redeem his people. It says that our brother, our friend, who was called Jesus, was seeking to redeem his people. It's a universal teaching that anybody can use, but he was seeking to redeem his people. What's your instruction? If Jesus' intent was intentional and seeking to redeem his people, what is your intentions? What's your intentions? This is listen, when you read your Quran, at the top of the page, if it should say the divine instructions. So when you start looking this as an instruction manual, this is an instruction manual. If Jesus was seeking to redeem his people in those days from the pressure of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, who you should be seeking in these days to redeem from the pressure? They don't like this talk. See, this that real Islamism. This that Islamism that touch you in your bones. If Jesus, one more time, if Jesus was seeking to redeem his people, I got to say it one more time, his people, from under the pressure, from the pressure of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, who should you be seeking to redeem in this day? Rome crucified him according to their law. And they will crucify you too. But because we got Jesus' experience, we should be able to move. We should be able to navigate. We should be able to get around a little better than what happened yesterday. And now, even in today's world, we able to study Jesus and find out Jesus knew what's going down before it went down. So now we should be even more equipped to move through this madness when they come to try to crucify you. That crucifixion and death is not synonymous. We got to stop that. It's not synonymous, no matter how they try to make it up. Crucifixion was a form of punishment that sometimes, or even most of the time, led to death. Physical death, that is. Everybody understand that? It was a form of punishment that sometimes, and even many times, led to death. It was a form of punishment. That's another story. But now check this out. And it says, Europe had peace for a long time until Muhammad I came upon the scene and fulfilled the work of Jesus Nazareth. And this is my line. And this is for you. The holy teaching of Jesus was for the common people. You see these Moors always want to be uppity, always in the upper room, use these fancy vernaculars and words. And see, my people understand. I'm going to butcher some words up. I'm going to mess up some phrases. I don't mind, because guess what? The common people can feel the energy of the message. And the message is for the common people. Jesus' message was for the common people. Prophet Noble Ali's message was for the common people. Muhammad's message was the common people. Why everybody want to be so bougie? These brothers calling themselves all these slick names and all of these fancy names and all of these group names and all that. Want to be so bougie? Jesus wasn't no bourgeois, whatever you want to call it. He went and talked to the regular, everyday, common people. It said Jesus' holy teachings was for the common people, to redeem them from the great pressure of the hands of the unjust. Man, this is a real mission here. This is a real mission here. Remember, these are the divine instructions. Our instructions is to assist in delivering our people from the hand of the unjust. That's what this is. Listen, the Moorish Science Temple of America is different than a lot of organizations. The Moorish Science Temple of America employs you to be a part and play an active role in making your conditions better. The purpose of the Moorish Science Temple of America is to uplift all of humanity, and there's enough work for all to do. And if you join the Moorish Science Temple of America and you're not ready to work, then this ain't the place for you. This is why people fall off, because they're not really ready to work. They want to sit down and listen to some lessons and be able to bounce them off people and be able to battle people and be able to just say how much they know and all of these fancy historical lessons, but they ain't really ready to work. They want to tell people, oh yeah, I'm a Moorish American, because they want to be different. They missed a hug or two back in the day. Ain't nobody telling them they love them enough. So now they need to get with this type of information to make them feel like somebody. And that's a beautiful thing. But when you feel like somebody, you are employed by the divine to go and assist your people so they can feel like somebody. You don't wear this as a badge. This ain't no get out a free card or no badge saying I'm better than somebody. Once you feel that you are somebody, then you need to pass that feeling on. But now, we start feeling like this is how our people do. I'm telling you, Moorish Americans do this all the time. One thing I respect about church folk, they don't do this that much. They do it, but they don't do it that much. Let me show you something. Moorish Americans that do this. They find themselves in a rut. Find themselves in a jam. They pull out that Koran in a minute. Allah, the Father of the universe. Father, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. They remember when they was going in the temple. Man, I should go back to the temple. Oh, Oh, it's not. I'm going to attend my meeting this week. Trying to tell you, they get out of that rut, dust that dust off. Pew! Let me tell you what Christian folks do. They do that every once in a while too. But they dust that dust off. They get out that rut. They backslide, and they go on back into church with the backsliding. Because they know that this was the place that cleaned them up. And if they're backsliding in the church, there's a strong likelihood that they can be cleaned up once again. But when our people backslide, the Moors, we backslide right out the door and never come back until we broke up and beat up again. But the Christian backslider, the one y'all like to talk about, they be right up in the church, freaky diggy, after church to the liquor store, go back to church on Sunday, go to the club on Saturday, but they be in church on Sunday because they know that the medicine that healed them was in that building. And no matter if they backslid, they going back in that building. You know what I'm talking about? Not the Moorish American, though. No, the Moorish American, they be thinking they high and mighty. They be backsliding, talking like they still got the science. Yeah, you know the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Let me hit that cigarette real quick. Let me Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Can I hit the blunt? Anyway, what I was saying was the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's how the more something now. Yeah, you know, when I was in the temple, bro, I was over there, and man, I was demonstrating, man, hey, any more beer over there? The Moors, they go all out, man. I'm trying to tell you. Hey, man, look at her. Man, she fat, man. You see that? Man, good. Oh, my goodness. Islam. Anyway, what I was saying was, that's how Moors do. They be back out there talking crazy. But now listen to this. If you happen to backslide, these teachings are for you. They are for the backslider. They are for the common people. And you shouldn't feel bad about yourself if you happen to backslide. Because that's what the teachers are for. Because you are still under the great pressure of the hands of the unjust psychologically. Psychologically. It goes on to say, the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. Jesus' message and your message is so the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. Remember, we went to the first line and it talks about from the pressure of the pale-skinned nation. But when we get down to 5, it talks about the ruler and the rich. He ain't put no pale skin on that. Pay attention. He ain't put no pale skin on that one. The rulers and the rich. Jesus' message for the rule. Remember that the Pharisees and the Sadducees was also Hebrews that was oppressing the people. You got Moors, whether they rule in the temple, whether they rule in their house, or whether they rule in a seat on the city council or in politics, they still rulers. So Jesus' message was for the common people who were suffering from the hands of the unjust, from the pressure of the pale-skinned nation of Europe, and from the rulers of the rich, so they would not oppress the poor. The rulers and the rich, so they would not oppress the poor. Isn't that a universal message? The Prophet Noble Drew Ali ain't, hey, bar none, he covered it all. We always focusing on the pale skin. Man, this is a universal teaching. The rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. Also, that the lion and the lamb may lay down together and neither be harmed in the morning. I watched some foolish brothers on a podcast say, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali talking about the lion and the lamb and lay down together. The lion is the white man and the lamb is the black man. See, that ain't true. Why would the lion want to lay down with the lamb? Fool. All of a sudden, the brother that said that actually produced rap music where there are plenty metaphors, line for line, in rap music. But now all of a sudden you don't understand the metaphor because you want to attack Prophet Noble Dry. Well, let me tell you something. The lion only represents a predator. The lamb represents the weak. The lion and the lamb laying down together is that we make the adjustment. We adjust the lion so he don't prey on the weak. That those who understand these lessons, we adjust the predator. We adjust and address the predator. So they don't prey on the weak and the ignorant. So they don't prey on the weak and the ignorant. That's what this is about. Not talking about laying down to no pastors. Not talking about some lion as symbolic seen on the charter. It's not talking about that. What are you talking about? It's talking about addressing the oppressor and adjusting him. But you ain't got that type of heart. You ain't got that type of heart. Nor do you have that type of wisdom. And so now you want to start telling, the prophet said, the lion and the lamb lay down. Now it ain't no laying down. It's jacking somebody up so the predator will not prey on the weak. That's an old metaphor. The prophet didn't create that metaphor, but it was relatable. And it was universal that all prophets had to adjust the lion. He needed to be adjusted so he can stop preying on the weak. And with that being said, real quick, it said these teachers were not accepted by the rulers nor the rich because they loved the principles of the Ten Commandments. These teachers was not accepted by the rulers and the rich. Why? Because the lion represents the ruler and the rich, and they need to be adjusted. They need to be adjusted. So, of course, they're not going to accept the teaching. The lion and the lamb laying down together have nothing to do with the symbolic image that you see on the charter where the lion is cuddled up together in some green pasture. No, this demonstration is about you, Jesus. Whoever you are out there, you addressing the oppressor. That's what this lesson is about. And see, this is where people go wrong when they study Moorish Science Temple of America on their own. When they don't have no elders to guide them. When they don't have one who has studied this and practiced this and lived this and build the wisdom that comes with this. The trickery teaching can debauch everything that you supposed to learn with this. We talk about the reincarnated. We talk about the resurrection. We talk about the Moorish government. We talk about all that. That would debauch all of this. All of this. There will be no wisdom in this if you take a side road on this demonstration. Your character won't be right. Your heart won't be right. You'll be uneasy all the time. You will talk this, but you won't have no peace with this. You will talk it, and it will sound good. But inside, you'll be toe up. You'll be toe up. All that stuff sound good. All the handshakes and the flying and all that look good. But the wisdom of this, you got to clean all that out. And you got to get right to the source of it. It said the teachers were not accepted by the rulers, neither the rich. Again, the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. The rulers and the rich refers to the lion. And the lion is the predator. Are you ready to address the lion? Are you ready to address the lion? This is this talking about. This is the underlining message in this. that if you say you going to follow these divine instructions, you got to confront the predator. Yeah, you got to confront the predator. And before you can confront the predator without, you must confront the predator within. It's called the lower self. Until you can get a working knowledge on the predator within, you are unqualified to address the predator without. You have to have a working knowledge. Know thyself. A working knowledge of the lower self. Now, let me wrap it up with this real quick. Man, I'm enjoying how the Grand Sheik is running this meeting, family. He see how time goes. He let me talk, family. He let me talk, family. He let me do my spill, family. The Grand Sheik of the Virtual Temple, honor to that brother. He's doing a wonderful job. The brother, let me take a sidebar real quick, because I'm almost done. The brother runs this meeting as if he grew up in the temple. I'm serious. The brother runs this meeting as if he grew up in the temple. Let me tell you why. I've been around literally since 1990. You know what I'm saying? With some Moorish group, one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Whether people call it real, fake, or whatever. I was introduced to the Prophet Obadiah Ali in 1990. And never have I seen one that could weave a holy day meeting together the way that the brother does it. I have not seen that. You know what I'm saying? I've always seen that like myself, and I'm guilty of it too. Me trying to weave a meeting together, I talk too much. I'm not a good chairman. I talk too much. I go on and start demonstrating out there in person. I'm not a good chairman. But the brother weave it together, and he know I'm a talker. He give me a sufficient amount of time. He reaches out to everybody and let everybody demonstrate it. And I'm telling you, I feel the energy of the Prophet's organization every Friday, even when we are virtually. When I read the history, this is what I see. I'm telling you, the brother got tolerance. The brother got patience. We had some people come in and talk some stuff. And the brother be like, well, Islam. And he weaved that thing together. And I just got to give you your honor today, brother. You are doing a magnificent job, brother. I'm honored, brother. I'm honored. With that being said, why are Moorish Americans still talking about Jesus? Let me show you why. The reason why that we are talking about Jesus is because the goal of this life is illustrated in our divine instructions. One of the goals or major goals of this life, Jesus speaks to us in chapter 17, verse 42. Chapter 17, verse 42. But we're going to go up to 37. But verse 42, this is the ultimate goal. This is why Jesus is in every circle of religious thought. Anybody ever wonder that? In every circle of religious thought, whether it be Hindu, whether it be Buddhist, whether it be Christian, whether it be Islam, he is the only one who is in every circle of religious thought. I ever wonder why? The Europeans ain't tell the people of India about no Isa. They actually told the European about Isa. When the Polish guy went there and he documented the history of Isa, he got that from an indigenous monk. The Europeans didn't tell them about Isa. But why is he in there? Because Jesus is one of the most popular iconic figures in this era of time that demonstrated verse 42. It says that my human form was wholly given to bring me in tune with the ethic will. In short, Jesus says that his body was given to him. Man is not the body nor the soul. His body was given to him. Who is him? A spirit and a part of Allah. His body was wholly, completely given to him to bring my will in tune with the ethic will. Your physical form was given to you, the spirit man, the spirit woman, the spirit of God in you, so that spirit can be that can be in tune with the will of the ethic life. And what is the ethic life? What is the ethic life? The ethic will, my apology. What is the ethic will? Get your dictionary out. What does the ethic mean? This is why Jesus is so important. This is why we need to continue to examine the life and the journey of Jesus. Because his physical was given to his spirit to bring his spirit, his will, in tune with the deific will. To make him into a God. To transform him and transmute him into a God. This is why he came in the flesh. And this is why you are in the flesh. So you can transform and transmute into gods and goddesses. These challenges that you are up against is there to transform you. And this is our brother. He goes on to say in verse 37, there is a holy ministry in death. The essence of the body cannot be quickened by the holy breath until the fix is solved. The body must disintegrate, and this is death. Let's forget the body. Let's go into the world where things are made of thought. Thoughts must disintegrate. You must take your thoughts and you must break them demonstration down. Disintegrate. Disintegrate. Break them down. And you must see each one for what they are. You must examine what each one of them. You must get to the purest form of each minute thought. Why do you do this? Why do you think this? Why are you inspired like this? Why are you not inspired? Why are you tired? Why are you weak? Why are your bones hurt? Why are your brain hurt? Why are your heart hurt? What is love? What is hate? The body of thoughts must disintegrate, and this is death. You must break all this down. This is death. Breaking down the very last iota of thought. And this is death. Listen what it says. The holy breath, it says, the essence of the body cannot be quickened by holy breath until the fix is solved. You can't even receive the truth until you understand your makeup. Until you understand the higher self and the lower self. And all the thoughts in between. The soul of man. There is no prophet on the face of the earth that gave us instructions like these. None. None. Not publicly. None. These lessons are to break you down to the very last compound in thought. On earth as it is in heaven. If there's a body on earth, there's a body in the heaven of your mind. You have to break that down, disintegrate. And listen to what it says. And then on these pliant substances, Allah breathes. The higher self breathes. When you're able to break it down and be able to see each iota part of your being in thought, on these pliant substances, Allah breathes. And when Allah breathes, just as he breathed on the chaos of the deep, all this is chaos. All these little pieces of paper, these are chaos. All these, as he breathed on the chaos of the deep. When the world was formed, formed. Breathe on the chaos of the deep. They form and they come back together. And now you're whole again. And now it can receive the holy breath because the fix has been solved. The fix being solved is that you have to break yourself down. You have to see every inch of you in thought. And then you got to put it back together. And now everything that you read, this is that holy baptism ritual that we was talking about earlier through our Sheikh Macalibay. You must cleanse yourself. And then the holy breath, the essence of the body cannot be quickened by holy breath until the fix is solved. And then holy breath, what is another word we give the holy breath? With another word we give the truth? Holy breath. Then the truth will activate and quicken your spirit. But until then, this truth right here, it can't quicken your spirit if you ain't did the basic work. Can't quicken your spirit. You can just talk some stuff. You can just play dress up, but you can't quicken your spirit with this. You can't send your thought from here to your child. You can't send your thought from here to your mama. You can't send your thought from your lost ones. You can't send your thought to your loved ones that gone before you. Remember when Jesus laid in the tomb? His body was a manifested soul, but the soul wasn't manifested. He went to set the captives free. He was entering into the hearts and minds of the people. Your thoughts cannot enter into the hearts and minds of anybody if they are impure. If you haven't done the basic homework, this is science. This is Moorish science, metaphysics at its best. I'm saying this at Holy Day. People think that you got to say this in private in some dark room or somewhere. I'm telling you that Holy Day, that you can take your thoughts, break your thoughts down, piece by piece, molecule by molecule, in thought form. See each one for what they are, put it back together, breathe on it with truth, and come to life, quicken with the holy breath. This is Moorish science doctrine. This is Moorish science doctrine. That's why when you take a fall that you think is a fall, you should bounce back almost immediately. You should bounce back immediately. When you feel the pain of your loved ones, you should bounce back immediately because your thoughts and your bounce back and your strength will strengthen them. Your smile will strengthen them. Your cheerful heart will strengthen them. Thought is the cause of it all. I'm going to let it go right there, Grand Sheikah. Man, this is absurd demonstration right here. We play with this thing. Ain't nothing to be played with. This that holy doctrine. So in closing, Grand Sheikh, I say this. The reason why Moorish American Muslim continue to talk about Jesus is because Jesus understood that he was brought into this world to become the God-man that he was designed and destined to be. And once you understand that you are planted feet on earth to become the goddess or the God that you were destined to be, you'll be better off and you'll be on your way. And if you better understand that every student needs a teacher and every teacher needs a student. Prophet Noble Drew Ali calls that reciprocal helps and mutual obligations. Every teacher needs a student, and every student needs a teacher. I'll let you ponder that. Grand Sheikh, I got to go. Happy Holy Day. Happy Holy Day, Grand Sheikh. Let's go. Islam.
Islam. Happy Holy Day, Grand Sheikh. Beautiful, beautiful demonstration there. Really helping us to appreciate why we hold on to Jesus, because he wasn't the Jesus that they pushing today. Like you said, he was the Jesus of the true blood. That's what we're talking about. That's what we pattern ourselves after. Just as the prophet, it says we pattern ourselves after the prophet Drew Ali. Here, there's a false Jesus.
Islam Facebook, I ask that you, if you are interested in joining our virtual component of the temple, if you are interested in joining our virtual component, I ask that if you are interested in joining our virtual component of the temple, you can email me, you can message me. You also can go to Join Noble Temples @gmail.com. We have a virtual temple component. Everyone is welcome. You must be of Asiatic descent, African descent, indigenous descent. We don't accept membership from Europeans. No, we're not racist. We just interested in helping our own people to come up out of this situation that we have been faced with for over 2,000 years. I invite you to come on in to our Sunday class. Our Sunday class is from 2 to 4:30, 2:30 to 4:30 Eastern Standard Time every Sunday, right on Zoom in Baltimore on July the 6th, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's going to be July the 6th. Let me make sure.
So we want to push.
Yeah, on July the 6th, we will be having our meeting at 1331 Baltimore Street, right between Calhoun and what is that? Calhoun and Kai Street. Yeah, we're gonna be right in the hood. We're gonna be talking to the common people. You're welcome to come. We're about to turn this thing like it's supposed to be, all the way up. But for now, if you are in a city where there is no temple and you want to join the Moorish Temple of America, come through the virtual component. Get what you need so you can bring the temple to your neighborhood, so you can bring the healing to your people. So email me, message me, join the virtual temple, and let's put yourself in position to bring the temple to the place where you call home. With that being said, peace and love, family. I see y'all on Sunday. If y'all join me in our Sunday class, I will be teaching about the American flag. I think if I'm able to arrange my schedule properly, but if not, then I'll do it the following week. But my plan was to teach about the origins of the American flag and its association to us as a people. But what y'all don't know is that many people have led the thought or the idea that this has no association with us, but in fact it has a lot of association with us. A lot of things of what you see has been usurped, taken from us, remixed, and given back to us. Even Jesus was usurped, taken from us, remixed, and given back to us. But it's time for us to take it back. Even this fez that I wear has been usurped, remixed, taken from us, but we kind of take it back. You know what I'm saying? The European Turks or the Pale Turks wore this, and everybody think this is Turkish. And although the name Fez come out of West Africa, unbelievable to me. The first town called Fezzan is in Tripoli. Unbelievable to me. But nevertheless, it's time for us to take it back and take our place in the affairs of men. With that being said, peace and love, family. I see you next Friday, or I may see you in our Sunday class. Peace and love.
You'll see it get dark. You'll see